It's always a tourist attraction any time of year, but once a year, the Louisville Slugger Factory and Museum becomes auction headquarters. This is the 15th year for the annual Louisville Slugger Museum and Factory auction. Hunt Auctions once again in charge of it. Ted Williams is here. You see behind him Derek Jeter. Well, at least reasonable facsimiles of them. Also here is David Hunt, who has been doing this, as we said, for 15 years. Back again when you first started, did you think you'd still be doing this this long a time?
It's amazing. We talk about it as a group that we look forward to this auction. Our clients do every year too. I can't believe it's been 15 years. It's just wild. But to be associated with a legendary name like this and get to enjoy this setting each year and present some wonderful artifacts, it's a great privilege.
And the best part about this is that people can come in here, whether they're interested or not, and get a look at some of the stuff that you guys are going to be selling on Saturday. We're going to take a little tour here, and we can see some of what's going to be up for bid, and you can do it online if you can't come to Louisville, or you can come here actually in person.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that people like. I mean, look, the internet bidding is obviously very prevalent. It's very important, and we have that obviously interactively. But this is one of the few remaining live auctions, even that we conduct, where you can really be part of a museum. And we get a big crowd that comes over the weekend. The museum opens up with free admission for that particular auction day. And even if you can't buy any of the things, it's just great to see them and experience the history of these pieces. And maybe educate even some people as to maybe what they have, or just to become collectors.
Well, let's start off. First of all, we see some Pirates memorabilia behind us. You guys have got the consignment from Dick Groat, who's still around, and still does some card shows from time to time, but some great pieces from his career here are going to be up for bid.
Yeah, he's great. Aside from being a great player, he's a great person, an icon in Pittsburgh. But some wonderful pieces as we talk to him, and we've been really blessed to have a great partnership with the Pirates. We've sold Bill Clemente, or stuff, Roberto Clemente stuff, and Bill Mazeroski, and now Dick Groat with his World Series uniforms, his Most Valuable Player Award, and his silver bat to that historic 1960 season.
Yeah, some great stuff. And then some of the uniforms, obviously. He was a great basketball player, too, and you get some of that stuff as well.
He was. A lot of people don't know that, but he was an All-American at Duke. So just we've got his actual basketball All-American jersey, and we've got his satin warm-ups as well. It just shows sort of that whole complete life that he lived as an athlete, not just as a baseball player.
Let's walk over here, because you guys have been selling the archives of the photo file here for a little while now. We got some more items from that end of things too.
Yeah, I mean, as many of your readers know, and the market has borne out, the vintage photography market has just exploded. I mean, it's been actually a hallmark of our auctions for over 20 years. We've always gravitated towards those collections and been happy to be involved with them. But when we were able to work with Photofile and their archives, it just was a great privilege, and so many historic images that they have. And this is the second offering of many to come, quite frankly, with just lots and lots of really great images, including some of the ones that were used for some of the famous baseball cards. Like here's the Waddell, that's the T3 image, that really are propelling that market right now.
Let's take a walk here around the corner, and around every corner there's something a little interesting. There's Ken Griffey Jr. And here we got some autographed baseballs, but to the right of that is one of the marquee pieces here in the auction.
Yeah, when you talk about game-worn gloves, they are extraordinarily hard to authenticate. It's why we've really had very few, even in all the years we've done this, that were really worthy of sort of elevating to that high-end level. This glove is so special. This was given to Wilbur Wiley, who was Ted Williams' boyhood friend. He actually taught him how to hit a curveball. He threw so many curveballs he blew out his arm when they were kids. And as you can see, there's just extensive provenance where he went back and Ted talked to him. There's even a period image, an article from 1992 when the All-Star Game was in San Diego, where Ted went back out, put this glove on, and stood with Wiley and did an interview for the newspaper talking about the glove. So from a manufacturer and the provenance and the other imagery that is accompanied by it, including an image of him and Jimmy Fox when they were pictured in Lane Field in San Diego, it looks like it dates from that 1938 to 40 period, so right when he started with the Red Sox. Just an incredible piece of history.
All right, let's walk around the corner here and see what other goodies. There's some more Ted Williams, and we got Mickey Mantle, an autographed photo of Mickey Mantle. And
Trophies, rings, I mean, all the standard fare, if you will. Try to have a nice selection at this auction each year, because you do get a lot of different collecting levels here. It's not all those $50 and $75 and $100,000 pieces. We like to have a lot of things in that $500 to several $1,000 range for being collectors.
There's a Jackie Robinson signed check dating from 1948, July 3rd. And then we come over here, and some more cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, autographed baseballs, obviously, vintage photography, and then one of the other highlight pieces, which I know you guys have covered on the site, but this is the Shoeless Joe Jackson signed baseball. In the 26 years I've done this, we've had, I believe, 3, including this one, of various types, but I've not ever seen one, not just offered by us, but any others, that really just was a pure single signed baseball or displayed as a single signed baseball. That's what really makes this example unique, and there's been a lot of interest in it. It's already at around almost 70,000 in the pre-bidding.
We talked about that a little bit on the website. We showed it off actually back at the National. A couple other signatures on there that you can only read by doing magnification, and you saw the video online as well. So pretty interesting piece there. We got some game used bats down there, and then here's some more photographs and a Roberto Clemente Top Performer in Baseball Award. You guys have handled a lot of Clemente memorabilia
We have,
lately.
and then the sort of the highlight of this particular auction is just a staggering collection of World Series tickets and programs collected by one gentleman over the period of almost 40 years. To try to do this and appreciate what he did is nearly impossible. I mean, he has a nearly complete run from almost 1906, 1905, 1906 up. And the special part about the tickets are they're full tickets. They're not just stubs, they're full tickets. So most of which, or many of which I should say, are completely unique. You have a 1910 full World Series ticket. Below it you look down, you see 1908, 1910, 1909. They just go on and on. And aside from the dollar value of the collection, which is just immense, the actual effort and the time that this individual spent to assemble this, you could live 2 lifetimes and not be able to do this again, aside from dollars and cents.
Yeah, and it's not just one or the other, it's both tickets and programs. And you look at some of the programs, obviously just works of art, a little different than it is now, where you get to have one standard program. Back then, you had programs for each team had its own program in the series.
Yeah, and it's become, I think this is still a very widely collected field, because it's so interesting to see why is a particular program for one city from the same World Series much more obscure than the other city, and so there's those sorts of elements that I think people collect. Also, the beautiful artwork, the beautiful construction, and just such a wide array of historic programs and tickets. It's been very well followed since we've had it up, and we expect a pretty strong showing in general.
There you see the 1919 White Sox scorecard of the 1919 Reds World Series program from the Black Sox scandal, and the 1927 famed Yankees team. Miller, Huggins, and Rogers Hornsby on the cover in 26. And then you go up through the decades, and this, boy, you said it, David, here's some more full tickets to some of these
it's
amazing series.
It's amazing. I mean, you can just, you can look any which way you look in the display, there's a ticket that you probably have never seen before. Or if even what he would do, this collector, is he'd find maybe one that he'd acquire, but then if he found one that was better, he'd actually upgrade it. So it just continually got better and better, as you can see, because whether it's programs or the tickets, he just has sort of the really, truly the best of the best available.
All right, let's go around the corner here and see what else pops up.
Again, lots of just, sort of things for everybody, different autographed items, even a vintage Masters tournament sign, which Masters of Golf obviously is the most popular and most followed, and when we come down here, we like to have a different group of things. You've got astronaut signed photography, even an Albert Einstein signed note, a J.D. Rockefeller check, which is the only one we've ever seen. A lot of interest in that as well.
And you got Michael Jordan's old shoes here from North Carolina.
North Carolina, UNC, both signed with good provenance behind it, signed back in the period, which is nice. We really enjoy being down here. It's such a great sports area. We've found that over the years, that's part of why the auction does so well. Is there's so many different elements in sports history down here that people follow from the different sports. I think it definitely translated into collecting interest as well.
And leading up to Saturday, you guys have an appraisal fair every year. What are some of the items that have come in here off the street?
Yeah, every year we have some great things come in. So far, we've had a War Admiral broadside come in from the 1930s that we've never seen before. A couple of nice autograph pieces, some nice vintage baseball cards, and then a lot of things that aren't worth a lot. But that's part of the event that we bring down here to Louisville. Is we want to be able to tell people what these things are worth and educate them. Whether they should keep them, sell them is up to them. But we want to make sure they understand what they have, and if that is the betterment for all of us in the hobby, that's great.
Very good. David, thank you. Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, right? Is when
Yes.
it all gets started, and you can follow the auction online. And with any luck, we might be able to post a little bit on our site, too. We'll see how it shakes out. But otherwise, huntauctions.com is the place to go. But better yet, come down here and watch it. Saturday morning, 10 o'clock, 15th Annual Louisville Slugger Factory and Museum Auction. And as you see, the World Series programs and ticket stubs just continue to go on and on. From Louisville, this is Sports Collectors Daily on location